And it looks like we're live. Hey, this is Umfaf Neverborn, the abyss that slumbers. You are listening to Eldritch Rants, the show that dares to ask, CNN, are you fucking insane? The answer to this question and many more will be answered by our panel of experts, starting with Buttercup, the only butter that does not melt in 110-degree heat, Canadian Gopher, star of Screen and Memes Just In, Kekistani Tranny, who is the most bitter Kekistani around, Knuckles, who is both dark and mysterious because I have no idea who he is, and of course, me. We are going to start off with the obvious topic that everybody else has talked to death, CNN. I love CNN because on the 4th of July, in honor of the American independence, they set themselves on fire and exploded the internet. In particular, as a couple earlier days before, somebody created a weird meme. Meme fell into the hands of Donald Trump. Trump posted it, and everybody had a good laugh about Donald Trump body slamming the logo of CNN, whereupon CNN said it was violence against all journalists. I love how whenever Donald Trump picks on everybody, any individual, it's everybody that person is. Pick on a woman, you're picking on all women. Pick on a handicapped guy, you're picking on all handicapped guy. Pick on a corporate logo, you're picking on all corporate shills across the world. Then what happened? Well, it turns out that CNN decided to subcontract down to those losers who graduated from BuzzFeed at K-File, and they hunted down the wrong guy. Yes, that's right. The guy who they claim created this meme wasn't actually the guy. He did a silent GIF. Somebody else took that GIF, or maybe took a different GIF, and added the sound and the whole FNN on the end and everything else. So they got the wrong guy, threatened to dox him, got him to apologize for something that really wasn't his fault to begin with, and then said, if you ever do this again, we're gonna dox you. Whereupon the entire internet exploded and proceeded to rip CNN a new one, ranging from memes going from Kato wins turning into a dragon and biting off CNN's head to entire video games based around Donald Trump blowing up CNN. It's been amazing. And so I thought, you know what, it being the end of the week and the story's starting to wind down, be a good time for everybody to start chatting about it. So who wants to go first? Oh, I'm sorry. Did I turn off the button? Hello?
Yo, what's up?
Hello? Yeah.
Oh, dear. Everything that I just said was straight to the recording, but none of you heard it. Okay, that's great.
Well, I'm listening to the actual stream.
Okay, well,
I was too.
Well, that's good. Then you heard everything I said.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first about CNN? I got the recap out of the way.
You mean the crappy news network?
They're thinking of changing their name. They're going to change. It's a rebranding thing. They're going to either go with, let's just say the first title they're thinking of rhymes with schmanibalism, or possibly a child schmafficking news network. Because both would be a step up from what they are now, which is Cancer News Network, basically.
They can only rebrand themselves and improve upon what they've horribly destroyed in the past.
Oh, and to be honest, for people who think, oh, no, it's just a bunch of joke memes, they can take it. I would like to point out that not only has Time Warner Cable, TWX, been taking a bit of a hit in the stock market, but there was a merger that was going to be going on that right now the people who are offering money for Time Warner Cable are going, hey, let's wait another day or two and see what you're actually worth.
Yeah. Everybody knows not worth anything.
The CNN viewership has plummeted. It's like getting less than Nickelodeon at night.
Oh, God.
Well, that's actually not very hard. Nick at Night gets a lot of viewers.
Well, yeah, that's true. But let's face facts here. If you are an industry that depends on people liking you, at what point does it seem reasonable to, I don't know, set fire to your constituency? I don't know.
I don't think that was their wisest decision to pick on a kid, regardless of whether it's confirmed as being a kid. But it's not very wise.
Currently, CNN is saying it was a kid who created it and the parent who's taken the heat or something. But I don't think they...
No, CNN is saying it wasn't a kid, and then some other people from like Reddit and shit are saying that it was a kid. So there's no real confirmation on what their age is. Nobody really knows except for apparently CNN.
Yeah, I think.
I don't think they're going to admit if he's a 15-year-old or not.
No.
Bottom line, it doesn't even matter how old this person is. It doesn't matter if they're a kid. It doesn't matter if they're a 60-year-old adult. What the problem is here is CNN and their fifis are so overly butthurt about this meme, this innocuous little meme, because they're afraid that it's gonna incite violence on some reporter. Right. They're afraid it's going to incite violence.
No, they weren't.
No, but that's what they said
all the time. They weren't afraid of violence. They were just like, you know what? We're going to put people in their place. This was about them being bullies.
Right. But they said that's what they said. They said that they believed that it would incite violence against reporters, journalists.
And you believe what CNN says?
Yeah, I'm with Randy Raccoon on this one. By the way, they thought they could get away with it. That's why they did it.
Yeah,
that's exactly
everybody would get scared and back down.
They thought that everybody was just going to bend over and take it dry, and people are just getting tired of being rear-ended, and they're not liking it anymore.
Instead, they started World War Meme 2.
You know, in my opinion, the guy who created this meme could be Satan's puckered asshole itself, walking around on a pair of legs, and I would still defend his right to make these memes. Okay, I don't understand what relevance there is to telling us, oh, he posted racist stuff. Guess what? Everything is racist to CNN. Okay,
it's the internet.
It's the internet.
You know?
If you talk
have they been on the internet ever?
Don't you know everything is racist?
Yeah, everything is racist. Everything is sexist. Everything is homophobe. That means, who cares? Like,
exactly.
He posted a big picture that showed all the actual Jews at CNN, which is like, okay, well, one, I don't care. Two, well, if they're actually Jewish, does it matter? I mean,
hey, don't forget, nobody else cares either.
Like,
hey, wait! I'm Italian, German, and Native American. Does that make me a fascist Nazi Indian killer that hates myself?
Well, that depends. Are you white?
Yeah.
Then you're racist.
Yeah, you're racist. If you're white, you're racist. They're the only ones.
I'm sorry to every minority that I've ever, I don't know, burned and stuck into an ashtray or something like that I didn't know I did it to. I apologize to the world.
Oh, yeah.
You're not forgiven.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I was the past week. CNN broke into my home.
Italian guilt.
Held a gun to my head and made me post positive memes for CNN. It was horrible. That guy, Don Lemon, he showed up and started, I was saying, I'm not going to do it. Then Don Lemon showed up and he took a cat and started performing fellatio on it. And I'm like, dude, stop that. That's wrong. But he wouldn't. I said, okay, I'll do whatever you want. Just stop sucking off a cat. That's really weird, man. But that's Don Lemon for you. This guy will do anything. He is dangerous. Do not trust that man. Fellatioing a cat. What is wrong with you? I'm so glad I escaped. Oh, my God. No, I'm serious. These guys are crazy.
You did check the back of your neck for the tracking device, right?
Yeah, well, they were pushing that barrel against the back of my head pretty hard. They could have stuck something under the skin. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it. I'll have to stay on the move.
You've been marked.
Should probably sleep with magnets in your pillow for the next week or so.
That might help. I can get one of those magnet pillows.
Yeah.
You know, I used to own one of those. One of those curved pillows that had magnets built into it. I got it from my grandfather. He gave it to me as a gift. I don't know if you guys ever got the magnet pillow, but it was a pillow made of foam and egg. You know that egg crate foam, and it had magnets.
Yeah.
And how'd that work for you?
Is he like one of those like Californian surfer hippie people that's all into like the Zen and yoga and the crystal? They put the crystals on you to align your chakras and shit.
Yo, hippie dad. That sounds like the hippie.
Who has been seeing the memes though that people have been posting?
Oh yeah.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Do you have any votes for the best?
Oh. I really like the one.
A new meme the other night. I'm sorry, go on.
My favorite one so far, it's like this, I think they're like a Chinese or Korean soldier or something they're in like riot gear type armor. They got their foot up, and there's a guy's head underneath where the foot's about to come down, and they imposed the Reddit head over top of the person's head that the guys get ready to stomp on, and the shield says CNN on it.
Man.
My favorite is, I don't know if you guys have seen this one because it was new. Do you ever see the video with the cat that's sitting there and the owner comes along and then puts something on its head and the cat just...
The flower?
Just pulls back and looks
yes.
Hey, are
Yes.
well, no, this is great. Somebody took it, they had the CNN logo, put it on top of the cat's head, and then the whole scene starts shaking and lights start shooting out everywhere and the cat's just freaking out. And then like they start doing all this weird CNN just getting pounded over and over and over. And it's like the cat's having this psychic vision of CNN getting the shit beat out of him. And then it's amazing.
I just posted a meme in the general channel for this Discord, and I wish you could get that into the video stream because that would be hilarious. You got to check that out.
Yeah. Whenever I try to do video, it crashes the setup for some reason, but
it's still a good. It's pretty good. It's the freaking
Darth Vader.
Trump, Trump leading the Pepe army into the CNN headquarters.
You know what?
That's hilarious.
If I had enough, I had a dream about this, and if I had enough money, I was going to do it, and it involved Kekistani Tranny. Because he's probably the smallest one of us. I think height-wise. We dressed you up all in black, like those suits from like a puppet theater, and we put a big red block on your head that said CNN on it. And then about a dozen of us all drove down in vans to New York City, where we unleashed you in front of CNN's corporate headquarter building, and then the rest of us all put on Donald Trump masks, and we ran you down and beat you with foam bats, except they were actual bats, big giant foam rubber flying bats. I don't understand why, but it was the dream. And then we picked you up, and then the vans pulled up, and we stuffed you inside and drove off. I don't know why I dreamed that, but I did.
You know they make medicine.
You subconsciously hate me.
No, you volunteered. You were all too happy.
Right.
I'm pretty sure they make medicine for that kind of stuff.
No, I'm an insomniac. I'll go days without sleep, and then when I finally fall asleep, I always have the strangest dream. Oh, it all catches up to me all at once, and I always have something weird going on. I personally, these memes, these anti-CNN memes have just been top notch. I mean, we've seen video games. I love the one where, what was it? It was Mortal Kombat. Donald Trump turns into...
I saw that one.
Oh, that was good.
That was amazing. Favorite one.
But the Darth Vader one, that was good too. You know about the contest, right?
There's a contest?
Oh yeah.
Do enlighten us.
InfoWars is holding $20,000 contest. You have to post it on your own.
What the fuck am I doing in a stream?
And then, well, you've got a couple more days. I think they've got like a week. I think they're going to do it next weekend. But you post a meme, and they're going to judge the best one and give them $20,000. At this point, I've already seen they've got 2,000 entries, and I've seen some of the entries. I'm like, dude, I can't beat that. But I do want to make my own meme at some point when I got time. I'm probably going to do that this weekend. So,
well, may the best meme lord win.
Any more thoughts on this topic here? I want to go a bit more into the detail as to exactly how stupid they are, but if anybody else wants to talk before I do, please do.
Yeah, there's a lot of hypocrisy going on in CNN, we all know that. But they were constantly saying that, Trump is a criminal and he's under criminal investigation, but he was never actually found guilty of any crimes. But as soon as they publicly commit a crime, they're saying, no, it's not a crime.
And not only that, but they were all for protecting that play that they make it look like they're murdering Trump. So that's not promoting violence, but a meme is.
You had something to say, Buttercup?
Yep.
You know what I want to think? What I want to ask is, what is their definition of violence? That's what I really want to know. What is their definition of violence?
They don't have one. It's whatever they feel like. What did you want to say about
their definition of violence is not watching their show and giving them ad revenue.
I'm sorry, I missed what you said, Buttercup.
Oh, I hadn't said anything yet. The thing that bothers me about this CNN thing is if they're allowed to take the course that they want to take, which is basically to say, hey, bend over and do what we want you to do or we'll dox you, then the ramifications of that are insane to me. As somebody who shit posts for fun on the internet all the time.
Yeah, you're an instant target now.
Exactly. My freedom of speech is gone if they're allowed to keep going down this track. And I don't like it. Because it means you can't criticize anything.
This is like CNN is saying we're officially siding with Antifa now.
Oh, well, they
right? Like they haven't already.
But you're perfectly right here, and I think that's why you have such, I hate to use the term, bipartisan support, but people on the left, people on the right, everybody everywhere turned around and said, you're doing what? The reason we get on the internet is so we can shitpost. Both sides do it.
Right.
Everybody does it. And you want to dox somebody? No, you're declaring war on the internet.
That's exactly what they're doing.
That's the thing. The internet is like the Wild West. We have all these rules in our society. We have all these things you should and shouldn't say in polite society, at your job, in your house, to a stranger. We have all these things. You have to conduct yourself in a certain way. But on the internet, you don't have to behave like that. You can say what you want. You can do what you want. Within reason, I wouldn't watch child porn because, hello, that gets you on a list.
Anything that is legal. Anything that does not violate a law.
Just to put this in perspective, that's why CNN hates the internet. The CNN is bound by the FCC. The internet is
We are not.
And that is why CNN will lose. Because we have no restrictions and they do.
I think there's a bigger reason why CNN hates the internet, and that's that the internet is a threat to them. Because on the internet,
viewers.
Well, yeah, they're losing viewers to other alternative news sources. Not only that, but people have caught CNN doing things like using the same child Muslim girl to be a refugee in like 4 different videos.
Oh yeah.
For Pete's sake, they've actually caught CNN behind the scenes forming crime scenes, actually putting scenes together that didn't exist otherwise.
Yep.
And fabricating actual news. Yeah, fabricating news.
Yep. And so because this stuff's getting out on the internet, that's a direct threat to them because they're being called out on all their bullshit and people are seeing it. Whereas before, if you caught them, before we had the internet, you catch them and you tell a couple friends and that's no big deal. But now that information is at the hands of millions of people.
See, CNN and everybody else and all these other news outlets need to remember something. The NSA doesn't just see us. There's always somebody watching, and now they know it.
Oh, yeah. By the way, you reminded me of one thing. When you were talking about the play where they killed Trump, I saw somebody edit it to where CNN was the one getting stabbed over and over. Faces on everybody else who was stabbing them. It was amazing. And I'm like, well, you were defending this before. Now you got to defend it now, right?
Yep.
You know what boggles me? They're so quiet now. They are so quiet. Yep. I haven't heard a peep.
They have nothing to say that wouldn't ruin them more.
Oh, I keep watching and waiting for, like, come on, say something. Say something. Do something. Do anything, internet. Come on, CNN. Come on. Blink. Blink.
They're formulating right now.
I do kind of want to see what they do next and how they shoot themselves in the foot.
Yes.
I would just love to be the fly on the wall in that boardroom.
Well, right now,
God, I hope somebody leaks footage.
I have no doubt that a bunch of stockholders have come down on CNN right now and said, if you cost us money, we will eat your livers in front of you. And then they brought in somebody who was with a hibachi. I kid you not. I'm serious. The guy.
I bet you right now.
I want to watch that. Oh. I want to see that.
As a side note, I want to give a little personal experience here real quick. I used to work for Fleet Bank. I don't know if you guys remember them, but they went belly up a while ago, and partially my fault.
Yeah,
I never broke the law. I just did what I was told. They said they wanted a miracle. I pulled it off. I was working in late stage re-age department when they fired everybody to clear out all the shenanigans we were doing before we got bought out by, I think it was Citicorp at the time. And when they fired everybody, I realized why they fired me and everybody else to get rid of us, because they burned all our hard drives. And so I knew somebody over at Citicorp, and I called them up and said, hey, by the way, just wanted to let you know what we were doing with the re-age program and how it looks like we have millions of dollars on the books. But technically speaking, that's imaginary money that'll disappear in 39 days. Suddenly that deal fell through, and then the next deal that came up was about $3 or $4 million less. So I cost them a couple of $1 million by telling the truth at that point. I am hoping that somebody at CNN is going to come up and reveal
what
some
kind
info.
of banker were you?
I worked with a credit card company, Fleet Credit Card Division. It's kind of complicated, but the federal government passed a re-age program, but they made a mistake. They put an or instead of an and in the wrong spot. And so I found a loophole that allowed us to use the re-age program to basically bring accounts instant for pennies on the dollar. And they passed the law. It wasn't illegal. The problem is that when we brought money from 6 months past due up to current that fast, there was this little blip that created imaginary money for about 35 days. And we could, normally you can't spend that money, but we could use it for other purposes that made us look like we were making lots of money. Like when you're selling the place out during a merger. It's all imaginary. It doesn't
Fire
exist.
sale!
Oh yeah. Like the upper management was selling the place, and we were, at the time, I probably created about $6 million that looked like it was on the books, but it wasn't. It was all a glitch, but the federal government passed it, so it was legal.
Hey.
Back to 15 years ago, I was a bastard. So, but I'm hoping there's somebody like me out there.
We weren't always nice.
No, but
we weren't always nice.
I, in retrospect, and that's a big point there, you think that just because the law allows something, it's okay. It's not. In fact, I would dare say it's...
Because laws can make mistakes too.
Oh, yeah. I do not trust the government anymore after the stuff I got away with. So.
Oh, no, I trust the government less than I trust the legal system, and I don't trust the legal system.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is just funny. At any rate,
and if you don't trust the legal system in the States, it's even worse in Canada.
Oh
God,
way,
yes.
Everybody, 1, 2, 3. Fuck Trudeau.
Fuck Trudeau.
Fuck Trudeau.
Fuck Trudeau.
Fuck Trudeau, man.
I don't say fuck Trudeau. I say cuck Trudeau.
Yeah. Okay.
Fuck Trudeau.
God Almighty, by the way, if you're in Canada, I feel so sorry for you. I have my heartfelt condolences.
Help us.
Even.
Yeah, how are you guys enjoying that horrible medical system that we're trying to emulate down here?
Oh, do you know about their mumps outbreak because of all of the unvaccinated refugees they brought in?
Oh, good God Almighty, no.
Yeah, but keeps filtering down here to New York State. We have to keep nipping in the bud. It flares up every couple of months. I work in the medical field, by the way, now.
This is why I stay inside.
Yeah,
I try not to go outside anymore, and I work by myself in an enclosed vehicle with a circulated air system. So, yeah, I'm pretty safe from it. I don't deal with the public anymore.
This is why I'm glad I'm in
Maxwell Horn, that's cold. Oh. I like Trudeau. He let me fuck his wife. Oh. Beautiful, my friend. Beautiful.
You know, if he would let me do that, I would actually vote for him just because his wife is smoking hot.
Yeah. Oh, well, what else about CNN before I ramble a bit more myself?
I hope their entire organization burns to the ground in a fiery rain of death, and may their meme fields always be salted, and may they never be able to grow. On that note, go ahead.
Yeah.
I like this woman.
I think
may their walls be covered in graffiti done by feminist period blood.
Oh.
Yes.
I like the salting the earth. That's a nice touch.
You know what? I'm gonna make it simple. I hope they just go away.
That would be nice.
I just hope they go away.
Painfully.
Yeah, painfully, but away.
Yes.
May they be cast back into the sixth circle of hell from whence they came.
I don't even think they want them.
Yeah.
Well, just to wrap it up real quick here, just to make it clear for everybody out there, the real problem isn't... It's that they've decided for some reason to target a private citizen for blackmail. It is. But there was something that was brought up by Harmful Opinions that I do want to echo real quickly. We don't know he's a private citizen. Harmful Opinions had a great contact that says, why would CNN do this against a private citizen unless it's not a private citizen? And this is their way of threatening, say, they found out it was some senator or some member of the House of Representatives, and now they're blackmailing a member of the U.S. government. I doubt it. I doubt it, but we don't know. And if you tell me for one moment that CNN would not stoop to that low position, I got a bridge to sell you.
They definitely would.
CNN would stoop under the ground.
Oh, God. Any other comments about CNN before we move on? Because that was the only point left that I wanted to bring up.
No, I think we covered it pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everybody has covered it pretty much by at this point.
Yeah.
The generalization up to this point is that CNN is a crooked, backwards, hateful organization and needs to be done away with.
Can we get a fuck CNN on the count of 3?
1, 2, 3.
2, 3.
Fuck
CNN.
All right. So,
but if you want to see some of the memes, just check out my newest video. I put some in there.
Same.
Now, do we want to continue with serious topics and go on to Hamburg, Germany, or do we want to move on to the fun topic of drug-filled orgies?
Drug-fueled orgies!
I gotta go with orgies.
About that. I wouldn't know anything about this topic. I've been single for 12 years and haven't touched anything since then, so I'll just sit back and laugh at this.
You'll enjoy this story.
No women involved.
Oh, it gets better.
Hey, don't worry. I'm a MGTOW, but I still find women attractive. Don't get me wrong.
I don't.
Okay,
all right, start us off, Eldritch.
All right. Vatican police raided a drug-fueled gay sex party at a top priest's apartment near Vatican City, according to the Italian newspaper report. What more do I need to say? Holy crap.
You don't need
pretty much says it all right there, man.
Oh,
that's horrible.
The only thing funnier is the name of the newspaper that brought it out, Fatto Quotidiano, which I just like Fatto.
Oh, good Lord.
It's just,
talk about molesting the Italian language.
No, there was nobody underage present. Nobody underage present. So in that regards, as far as I'm concerned...
that's surprising.
That's very surprising.
However, one of the cardinals involved was recently charged in a sex abuse child scandal, and he's waiting to be returned to Australia to stand trial, but I don't think it looks good for your trial or your character if, before you go off to Australia to stand trial for child sex abuse, you decide to have a drug-fueled gay orgy.
With members of the Vatican, of all things.
They're claiming it's some sort of...
I just want to say...
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just want to say I feel a little left out that I wasn't invited.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to convert if I would be involved in that.
Good Lord.
Yeah, I mean, part of me just says, I mean, on one hand, consenting adults, blah, 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 I don't care. Like, this doesn't strike me as anything new, especially from what I remember growing up.
It's not bad, it's just funny.
Yeah, it's funny. But here's the thing, is the spin that the Vatican's been putting out in other articles that I read where they're basically saying, well, there's this small rooted group of, gay priests who are, recently appeared. No, there's nothing recent. There's nothing recent. They're trying to make it sound like this is the first
There's
time.
nothing recent about homosexuality and priests.
Yeah, there's nothing recent about this. This is not new.
The whole problem comes from how they become priests in the first place. I don't know if anybody knows the whole process. They take teenage boys who they just have become teenage boys. They put them in the seminary schools. They tell them that they're not allowed to look at women. And so they take these boys that are just coming into puberty, basically drill it into their heads that sex is wrong, bad, you're married to God, this, that, and the other. And then they just go through this schooling and they go through all this, this priesthood, and they're not allowed to touch women because they're married to God. They can't touch women. They just, it's just gross. It's gross. It's just wrong.
So they force priests to be gay.
Basically.
No,
and
I can see
because
that winding them up, yeah.
Yeah, and because they have all these repressed sexual desires, it does often come out, and it comes out
in horrible,
as like a deviation.
Yep.
Yeah, and so they touch the boys. They usually touch the boys that remind them, they're usually like 9, 10, 11-year-old boys, about the same age they were when they went into school.
Well, having dealt with this topic a bit at my job, I'm going to clarify this a little bit here. Basically, if you are child molested as a kid, 11, 12, 13 years old, it creates kind of a formative memory. And when you get older, even if you're not gay, there's a part of you that sometimes goes, I really miss that guy. Because the kid does...
Well, hold on a second. That actually happened to me when I was 8 years old by a male babysitter of mine. And now I don't think about kids like that. I think about protecting children against things like that.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen. It happens to everybody, but there is a sizable percentage of victims who wind up somehow, in order to justify it, in order to have it make logical sense in their head. This is why I drill into people so hard. Life isn't fair and it doesn't make sense. Stop trying to make logic out of it. If something horrible happens, there isn't a reason behind it. But if you have somebody who wants there to make sense, wants to make reason, then they start to say, well, I must have liked it. That doesn't happen to everybody, but it happens to a number of kids. And those are the ones who I deal with who are the most screwed up. When they get to be adults, and then part of them goes when they get to be adults, well, I liked it, so why wouldn't the kid like it? No! Don't even think that way. Not even close. You didn't like it. You couldn't have liked it. You were too young to like it. But I've heard this more than once.
Was happening.
And the big thing that I try to stress is no, you didn't think that way. Now, that's with normal people in a normal society who can walk away and try to get help. If you're in the Vatican and you're in the priesthood,
you're boned, literally.
I don't think they have psychologists in there. So no. It's just a self-perpetuating cycle. I can see it like.
Well, they have psychologists. It's the priests. The priests are the psychologists.
It's the ultimate echo chamber.
Yes, those same priests who themselves were touched as children.
Yep. Now, don't get me wrong here. I want to say this. I see a big difference between Christianity and megachurches. In my opinion, megachurches are just political organizations and money laundering schemes. Individual Christians, individual faithful, spiritual people is entirely different than a big giant organization that doesn't pay taxes.
Yeah.
All right. So as an atheist, I do want to make it clear here. I got a lot of respect for Christian morality, but I don't have a lot of respect, I guess is the word I'm going to use to try and be polite here, for the Vatican or the Catholicism in general these days.
I'm a Christian and I have zero respect for the Catholicism or the Catholic Church. Zero respect.
Yeah, I had one relative who was very Protestant, and he explained that to me, and I like their kind of view, which is, if you're a Catholicist, it's kind of like Apple computer is kind of like
Catholicism is rooted in
There's a whole layer of things between you and God, but when you're a Protestant, there's you, there's God, and there's nobody else in between, and you are responsible for your own sins. Kind of like a PC.
Yep. You are responsible for yourself.
Catholicism is really dumb in the fact that, it doesn't even it doesn't even match up to what it preaches. Like, the Bible says that there's only one way through heaven, and that is through Jesus, right? Meanwhile, the Catholic Church says the same thing, but then they add
through the Pope.
Except you have to add in the priests and the Pope and your Hail Marys and the Bible says
all of the stuff that the Bible warns against is exactly what the papacy wants you to do.
Well, yeah, and another thing they say is that there's God and only God, and not to worship false idols. But the Catholic Church worships Mary just because she was the mother of Jesus.
Maryism. Now they'll tell you that they're not worshiping Mary. What they're doing is asking her to intercede, which the Bible actually says you're not supposed to do that either.
Yeah.
But they do everything that the Bible tells you you're not supposed to do. Well, what do you expect from an organization that doesn't teach out of the main book that they claim to adhere to? They teach out of the Catechism and the Catholic, the Roman Rite and Ritual.
Yeah,
the more something is rewritten, the farther it gets away from the original. It's like one big game of telephone that keeps fucking up more and more.
Yeah.
They have no idea. They're deceiving because they're deceived, and that's all I'll say on the matter. It's horrible.
I think it's a recurring theme. I mean, and I don't think it's just Catholicism. I mean, look at the Sauds in Saudi Arabia. They keep telling everybody follow the rules, blah blah blah. But you keep getting more and more reports about all the gay orgies they have. They molest young boys all the time. There's so many reports that I can't believe they're all false. You know, and I look at any big mega church that you have that's more contemporary here in the United States.
Yeah, they're not just molesting boys; they're molesting little girls too.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, but it's what happens. I think whenever you have an echo chamber, and you have too much power, and there's no outside influence, monopolies of all sorts inevitably end towards.
Monopolies never end well, period.
Yeah, and so if you've got a monopoly of power in any organization, and there's no talk outside, if you've got a really good leader, it works. But the minute your leader moves on, you're doomed the minute your organization gets a committee. A committee is a recipe for disaster.
Yep, because then it puts more people in charge. But it's always been like a giant pyramid scheme. The guy at the top always benefits the most, while the little guys on the bottom always get boned.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is why I try telling feminists there is no patriarchy, there is an aristocracy. The people at the top make the system to benefit themselves, and everybody below them gets screwed in the end.
Yep, literally, dry. No lube.
Yeah.
In the end, all right. You're going to get it in the end. Trust me.
Like when the politicians decide that they want to go to war, it's not the politicians that go to fight, it's
us.
Exactly.
Yep.
And when there's a food famine, it's not the rich people who suffer.
It's us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I say us because I am one of the working poor. I'll work until I'm dead. I'm 43 years old, and there's no chance of me ever retiring now. Social Security will be gone when I'm ready to retire.
Oh, there'll be something the problem is they'll have to pay out exactly what they bring in and nothing more and nothing less, which is going to put it at about 70 to 75%.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter for me.
That, but it's not going to be anything near what they're promising you.
My personal belief is the United States will be gone in 7 years. So hey, what do I know, right?
Yeah, I can understand the sentiment, but
I see things from a different point of view.
There's a huge.
No, I see things from a different point of view than most people do, but we're not going to go into that on the stream. At least not right now.
You're talking to somebody who deals with the people who are using the welfare system a lot, and I'm telling you this: there's a lot of welfare people who are sick of the system itself.
Well, you got to remember, I also came from the military-industrial complex with what I did. I never got to do an introduction, so you guys don't know anything about my background.
No, I mean you're welcome to your opinion, and I can see it too. I can see the point of view. I myself felt that way about 2 years ago. I thought this, but for the same reason, because of my economic background, I was going, my God, the economy, it can't work. It can't. But every time I thought it was going to collapse, it didn't. And the fact of the matter.
Oh, this has nothing to do with the economy.
Oh.
Not what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. You want to clarify or no then?
No, this is for a different stream at a different time. Right now, this is me getting used to hanging out with a bunch of new people.
Yeah,
and I'm having fun.
We'll just move on.
Yeah,
anything
we're good.
Else about drug-fueled gay orgies and priests?
Whatever you do not Google lemon party.
No, don't do it.
Nope.
Don't do it.
Now I just got to watch the chat to see somebody go gross.
Yeah. No, thank you.
You know what happens when you tell people not to do something.
Oh, yeah. Oh, give me a link. Link it. You've been warned. You have been warned.
Now, has any... Well, oh, wait. Oh, God. I should actually put a link in down later. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Liz Reptile.
Yeah, what
Why
about
have I
her?
heard that name?
No, I mean, she's an okay person. She looks out for a lot of small timers too. I'm just mentioning that she got DMC'd or whatever it is, the copyright strike, and lost her channel, so she started up a new one. If you followed her, you might want to go follow her because she doesn't have the 1,000 subscribers you need to do Super Chat, and she kind of relies on that. So I'm just mentioning it. If you used to be subscribed to her, go look her up again. She's on Liz/something. I'll put a link down later. If you were subscribed to her before, go look her up and subscribe to her now because the old channel doesn't work at all. It's basically blocked.
What did she get DMCA'd for?
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure. One of her videos got hit, and it's the usual BS that they keep hitting small-time YouTubers for. I think somebody... Who was it? Tariq?
Did you hear about that?
Yeah, he went after
We
her.
was Kangs!
Yeah.
Oh my god. 6 false DMCA claims on Bunty King. Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah.
5 of which had none of his content.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
He hasn't just been going after him. So he's been going after anybody who he even vaguely thinks is a problem.
Tariq Nasheed can do whatever he wants, because he was Kangs!
Oh, yeah, that whole... God, that's...
I don't remember who he is,
Did you hear
too.
the news, by the way? They did a DNA check on some of the pharaohs and found out, hey, these guys are actually white.
Yeah, don't go telling anybody that though, because it'll bring the world down.
Oh yeah. No.
Tell
You're
everyone.
trying to steal our heritage, you know. I actually liked it the other way because I get to go, yeah, you were Kangs and you enslaved my people because I'm third Jewish. You were the slavers first. You had it coming.
If they really want to get wise about something, tell them to go look at the cave paintings of them being nothing more than dick washers.
I have really offensive views on slavery.
Look, I'm Italian, German, and Native American. They do not want to hear what I have to say.
Oh, you're like genetically drunk. If you just need a little Irish in there and you'd always be drunk.
I know, right?
Hey, just so you know, Knuckles, Tariq Nasheed, he,
Oh, I know who he is.
Okay, have you seen his Hidden Colors videos?
No, I don't watch any of his videos because I don't like anything that's that blatantly racist and hateful.
No, you gotta watch Hidden Colors. It is the funniest comedy you've ever seen. Did you know that black people were the first samurai and they created the katana?
Okay.
Stealing Asian culture now. Wow.
That's absolutely amazing.
So ancient Japanese got the ancient art of metallurgy from.
Yes, and
who knew that you could bang hot rocks together long enough in Africa to make metal that turned into a really badass blade?
It's also where they got Bushido from. They got it from the blacks.
What else did we get from them? Share. Tell us.
My brain hurts.
Black Shido.
I'm getting cancer. God damn it, I'm getting brain cancer.
You gotta watch Hidden Colors. It is the funniest video you will ever watch. Only the guy believes that it's all true.
No. Man, I can't believe it.
I'm gonna have to go watch this later, I guess.
I refuse to believe anyone is that stupid.
I have not spit my own brain out of my skull in a long time, so maybe I should see this at some point.
If you don't think anybody can be that stupid, how do you explain man-spreading?
Oh, God.
Still not as stupid as the whole blacks invented everything.
I don't know. It doesn't make any
I'm
sense.
just waiting for Anita Sarkeesian to fall off of a stage somewhere.
Unfortunately, this is the inevitable result of identity politics. You know, if you're sitting there and the only value you have is by your past, and nothing you do matters, all that matters is what happened to you in the past, then of course you're going to sit there and start to create an imaginary mythology for you. I think it's why the Nazis were so obsessed with the Aryan history, because they were identity politics too. There's literally no difference between modern identity politics and the Nazis. It's the same theory. It's just different names. And they were obsessed with creating this history of glory because today doesn't matter. It's the only reason they're any good is because of what their history was.
It's because they were has-beens instead of never was.
Yeah,
they want back what they used to have, or thought they used to have.
Me personally, I don't care. Like, yeah, my ancestors went through a lot of shit and they did some amazing things, but that's not me. I admire them, but I take no pride in it because it was their accomplishments. They take pride in it.
You don't have a dog in that race. Yep. You don't have a dog in that race.
Like, as Blair White said, if I can't take responsibility for white man landing on the moon, I am not taking responsibility for slavery.
Nope.
Well.
I wasn't there. My family wasn't there.
Well,
don't blame me for
speaking about fascists, shall we move on to the riots of Hamburg?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure everybody's seen the footage, but here's the basic summary. Out of the blue came about 5,000 guys wearing all black and black masks, moving down the street, moving cars into the middle of the street, setting them on fire, and causing literal millions of euros in damages. And the police were basically helpless because they were outnumbered. And the police were not willing to open fire. They were told not to shoot. So all they had were water cannons, and basically that involved, pushing some people around with some water.
Water cannons, smoke grenades.
Yeah.
Just look at the video. You can see where there's links of things called Hamburger wakes up destroyed after a night of G20 clashes.
Oh, by the way, Randy.
Destroyed.
Try going down all the way to the bottom. Next to your name, there is a microphone, a headphone, and then a little gear. Try clicking on that and then looking up voice and seeing what it's directing to. If you're having problems talking.
Yeah, make sure you have the proper
And you
device.
do need a mic. So, just to clarify.
Yeah.
But yeah. The weird thing is oddly enough, they were against globalism. Donald Trump was there, the biggest anti-globalist on the planet, teaming up with Putin, the second biggest anti-globalist on the planet, and they wanted to protest that. That's crazy. What is wrong with you people? You are...
Because they don't hate the ideas, they hate the people.
Exactly.
That is what happens when your political ideology is based entirely on my feels. My God, it's just crazy. And here's the thing. I saw what Donald Trump did there. I'm like, holy crap, what do you mean you arranged a ceasefire by talking with the guy in 2 hours? What? Donald Trump, in less than about 2 hours and 40 minutes of sitting down with Putin, worked out a ceasefire in Syria, smooth things over when it comes to supplying gas to Poland, some third other miracle that I don't remember off the top of my head. And it's like, what the hell? Usually this takes weeks or months for something to work out. And Donald Trump sits down with this guy, leans over, and says, all right.
Two of the most powerful men in the world.
And they slam this out in less than 3 hours. I'm like, holy crap. This is why, I've got some problems with Trump, but the man gets results. He does.
Yeah. I admit it. He gets shit done. He doesn't play around. I didn't vote for him, but then again, I didn't vote for anybody. But it's right. Putin sat down, got this stuff hammered out in record time. Things that we thought would never happen. But who knows? Let's see how long the peace holds. Let's see how long it holds together,
Yeah. I'm not sure how long that's going to last in Syria, but I think if both the U.S. and Russia were on the same side in Syria, and personally, my opinion is go up to Assad and say, look, you're an asshole. I don't care. Let's keep your country under control, and then afterwards, we'll talk. Because we did nothing good. We did nothing good by destabilizing Assad. None of the nations in the Middle East we did any good by destabilizing. Oh no, Saddam Hussein gassed a couple hundred people. I think the couple of million dead by now would have said, you know what, he can gas up a couple of hundred people every once in a while as long as a couple of million people get to live. I understand that's utilitarian, empiricism, but I'm all for the greater number of lives saved. I don't know about anybody else.
The lesser of two evils is always the better choice.
Yeah, I hate that we have to make choices between two evils, but I'll take the lesser one.
It sucks. You're right. It is. It's terrible that we have nothing but that as a choice. But it's still you make the best choice that you can with what you have to choose from. It's horrible. It's horrible that we live in a world that's like that.
But the rioting in Hamburg was so bad that CNN actually had to report on it. That tells you something.
Yep.
I'm sure they would have loved to have ignored it.
If things keep going the way that they're going in Germany, I could see a new Nazi party actually forming.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
Except they call themselves the opposite.
The new rise of the Holy Roman Empire is about to happen. Just keep your eyes on Germany, guys. It ain't over yet.
Oh, I don't think Germany as a country is dead, but I don't think that Germany is going to have an easy ride because this whole multiculturalism thing, which let's be honest here, whenever anybody says diversity, they say bring in more non-whites. Okay, I'm not being racist.
Remember, the entirety.
Let's look at Europe. Europe is an incredibly diverse culture. You go from one end of Europe to the other and just look at the natives, and that's an incredibly diverse continent. So I don't think it needs more diversity. Why does
remember the entirety of the EU is looking to Germany for the answers right?
Oh, yeah, and Germany is going to implode. And I love Poland. Oh, God, I don't know if any of you caught this.
Oh, yeah, dude. Poland is taking no shit from anybody.
I am Polish.
Yep.
I'm going to flat out, and I watched Donald Trump's speech in Poland, and I will say this. It has been a long time since I shed a tear over a politician giving a speech, but that was moving as hell. That man knows how to speak.
Poland is having none of it, dude.
I was like, yes, I am ready to go march on Germany right now. Wait, what? Oh, sorry. Sorry. But yeah, no, I mean, I love this. Have you ever seen a map of all the terrorist attacks in Europe? There's this big hole in the middle where Poland is.
Yep.
Well, they keep saying, oh, Poland's going to suffer from the way that they're resisting the EU. And I'm like sitting there going, really? Doesn't look like it from here. Oh, you're going to fine
They look like they're thriving.
I cannot wait until the EU tries to fine the Poland for not taking refugees, because that will be when they quit.
I'm sorry, you don't get to tell me what to do with my nation and my heritage.
Yeah, if EU picks that fight with Poland, EU is done. Even as it stands, I think it's done, but somehow it's teetering. Somehow they managed to, I don't know, lash together enough support to kind of stay together. And I don't know how they do it, other than I think they've got so much censorship that the people there don't know what's going on.
Well, the fall of the EU is at hand. The fall of the EU is at hand, and the rise of the Holy Roman Empire is coming.
It would not surprise me.
Just watch. Just watch.
Yeah, I know.
Give it time. Within the next 3 years, I think.
I don't know if you guys follow Kraut T, but I think his reporting on Germany is pretty spot on, and he was going on saying, you know what? I didn't hear anything about these riots. And I'm like,
really?
He says, unless it was on the internet, I did not hear about it on a single local news site. And I'm like,
nope, and they won't.
Wow.
Yep.
It's radio blackout over there. They don't want people hearing that shit.
Yep.
A city is burning.
It's the same reason.
And nobody knows.
Yep, it's the same reason why the important news that happens in the U.S. never gets seen in the U.S., only overseas.
But I think we're going to see a Fourth Reich. I really do.
Yeah, we are.
If you look at America, for example, you've got the alt-right growing, and our problem and like America's problems aren't nearly as big as they are in Germany. So the alt-right is over.
I do hang out with some of the racists, alt-righter people. They're not bad people. I know a bunch of them. I stay on their list because I think it's important to keep in contact and see how things are going. But to be honest, they're not looking to form a Fourth Right here. They're
not in America, no.
No, not like you're thinking.
In Germany,
but what I'm saying is, you look at Germany, and it is so much worse than what America is. And America already has a growing white nationalist group. And now Germany, I imagine their white nationalist group must be growing at even
crazy
faster rates.
It's getting crazy.
Because you look at the Muslim problem they have there with the rape gangs and the murders and the honor killings and shit, and then you look at the fucking Antifa destroying their cities.
Not to mention, look at what you got to remember. Germany is seeing firsthand what is happening in Sweden as well. Sweden is being raped to death, and Germany is seeing this, and they're not liking it.
Yep.
Yeah,
So I can see a Fourth Reich starting up there. If they have somebody charismatic come in,
do you know Sweden
has
passed the 10% immigrant mark? 10% of their population is immigrant.
Yeah, Sweden's dead.
Yep. Oh yeah,
Sweden just hasn't fallen down yet. They just don't know it.
Yeah, they're like a walking zombie country. I mean,
it's full of nothing but feminists and rapist Muslims. And
feminism first, basically said, fuck you, gays. We're gonna look after the Muslims first, and then they said, fuck the women. We're gonna look after the Muslims.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't.
Now it's over.
I just don't get that. Where the hell? How do you get that logic going? I mean, I understand the whole point where feminism turned on gays because they did. I mean, if you guys follow
this is how social justice and political correctness destroy a nation.
Yeah.
I don't know if feminism turned on the gays or if the gays turned on feminism.
It was a little bit of both, but there was a point where feminism declared gay white men to no longer be oppressed. They kicked him off a council in England saying you guys aren't oppressed anymore.
Yeah, but I think that a lot of that was because the gays were basically not agreeing with their all men are bullshit because, they're gay men.
Gay men like men, and feminists don't, but gay men do like men. And that's why they're starting to say, but I like men. Why do you keep bashing all men? I love it.
Yeah, gay men like men. Feminists want to be men.
You know what would stop feminism? Having a father.
You know what's going to stop feminism? Guys like me that are pulling out and say we don't want nothing to do with it no more. You want it all. You want it all. You can have it all.
Oh well, no, that will be the end of feminism. It will, because feminism can't last without men stepping up to fix their problems for them. And that's not sexism. That's an observation.
That's reality. It's observational science is all it is. Don't get me wrong. I love women. Women are amazing. But I understand. I'm not saying that all women are evil, because that's not how it is. But from firsthand experience, I've seen what females in this modern society have become, and it's not like what our mothers were like.
In their defense, I have not seen very many crazy women that had both parents.
Good point.
Good point. The moment you get a divorce, even if they remarry, if you're not with your biological mom and biological dad, and by the way, just a little side note here, there's an actual reason why when a daughter is raised by a father who is present, there's a certain minimum of hours they have to be there every day. The pheromones inhibit puberty, and the daughter hits puberty later than normally would. And if the father bails out at birth, every year without the dad, there's about 8% earlier on average for puberty. And I know that doesn't sound like much, but you got a kid who suddenly turns sexually active a little bit earlier and starts acting crazier earlier and hasn't planned things
nothing in the house to control her.
And then suddenly gets pregnant and then now is on welfare and now...
Let me tell you a little story real quick without going too far off base. My daughter was 12 years old when she lived with me here in Texas. She lived with me for 2 years. She left California where her mother was. She had missed 74 days of school in 1 year before she came here.
Holy crap.
Was getting straight Fs, was horrible. She was lying. She was stealing. She was getting in trouble. She comes here to Texas, lives with me. Within the first year, she went from missing more than half the school year to never missing a single day of school. Went from getting Fs to straight As. And never lied, never stole, never backtalked, spoke disrespectfully to anybody, all because she lied to me one day and she stole from me one day. And I literally took my 12-year-old daughter, put her over my knee, smacked her on the ass one time. And that was the last time she screwed up. I had to move to Virginia for work 2 years later. My daughter decided that she didn't want to move to Virginia with me, so she went back to live with her mom in California. Within 3 weeks of moving back to California, her grades instantly started to suffer. She started missing school. Her mom never punished her, never corrected her. And now I am a 42-year-old two-time grandfather.
Ouch.
Because my daughter had no control scheme in her life, and her mother refused to do anything but get pregnant by several different guys with several different children, and she's getting like child support and welfare for like 7 different kids.
Huh.
Yeah, my condolences.
And this
I have
is
the
the household.
exact opposite. I am the
Yeah.
exact opposite.
What do you mean?
I come from a single parent household. My mother raised me. My dad was an alcoholic. He bailed early on. I have no children. I'm 30 years old. I work a steady job. I have my life in check.
About how harsh was your mom on you?
Honestly, not at all.
Really?
She never spanked me. Never.
Well,
Never once.
I'm not. Well, I mean, there's a bell curve.
That's
here.
amazing, actually. The chances that's actually that the chances that actually happens anywhere else is like so freaking astronomically low. It's
a bell
unbelievable.
curve. I mean, there's degrees of this.
Yeah.
There's degrees.
And you want to hear the best part?
Sure.
From about the age of 9 on, I basically raised myself.
Well, see, that might be it.
See,
That might be it.
Yeah, that's a whole different animal right there.
Yeah. Because
Let me get this real quick. Will you guys go ahead and talk? I got something to find and show you guys real quick.
No, I understand. Basically,
But yeah.
there's a difference between
Oh, here we
having
go.
stuff handed to you for free without any consequences and getting nothing. If you get, and trust me, I used to be a spoiled brat when I was a kid until I went off on my own, and then I ran out of money, and I had to live on the street for a couple of days there, and suddenly I began to value $1. You know, it's surprising.
Here, read these statistics. These are actual statistics I just posted in general chat. 1 out of 3 live in a home without biological fathers. 90% of homeless and runaway children live in homes without fathers. 85% of children with behavior disorders are in homes without fathers. 85% of all youth in prisons come from homes without fathers. 71% of all high school dropouts. 63% of youth suicides. 120% at greater risk to become a subject of child abuse from being in a home without fathers. 7 times more likely to become pregnant as a teen. Father absence has shown to lead to higher rates of depression, higher rates of divorce, higher rates of substance abuse, lower educational performance, lower life expectancy, lower average income, lower job security, lower levels of health. 40% of children in father-absent homes have not seen their father at all for at least a year.
Well, there's one thing I want to note about all that. That's all statistics, though. So we got to remember that there is
Statistics
outliers.
don't lie, though.
No,
They come from
I'm saying that
science.
on average, it's probably the best thing. You know, and it's always best to play the numbers when you're dealing with large groups. So, I mean, at this point, and me personally, I could go with other actual legal laws of all sorts of stuff as well that show how screwed up things are, bro. But, you know, Buttercup is
The world is broken.
it shows what happens if you actually have some hardship and you go, wow, nobody's going to save me. And if nobody's going to save me, you pull yourself together and you get yourself going and you move along. And I try to deal that with my clients where I say, look.
Remember when we were kids, our parents taught us when they took us to the swimming pool the first time, either you sink or you swim.
Yeah. Well,
Now-
for me,
Go ahead.
I have 2 brothers who have behavioral disabilities, and my mother was always busy dealing with them. I do remember one time she had a nervous breakdown, and while we were at school, she took off to Pennsylvania.
Oh, really?
I
What part
was
of
8
Pennsylvania?
years old. I was 8 years old at the time. I asked her later, and she said she knew that I would do the right thing, which was call my grandparents who lived like 6 blocks away.
See, for you, both of your parents were absentee.
Basically,
That's why you turned out different.
Yeah.
Because your mother did not interfere in your life, and it all goes back to that whole 80%, 85% of children have behavior disorders without the father in the home. Well, for you, that was a lower number because you didn't have your mother there to destroy you either.
yeah.
So you
I'm
got the better
sure it
end of
wasn't comfortable, but on the other hand, it sounds like you're, how shall I put this, at least comfortable with yourself.
There is one little thing I want to say about the statistics thing. While I'm not saying that those statistics are wrong, statistics can lie. Saying that statistics don't lie is false because feminists like to throw statistics at us all the time, and those statistics are always wrong when you do proper research into it because they
look
try
at
to
those
skew
statistics they're
the
using.
statistics. Yeah.
Well, this comes up to something that I've talked about in a different video that I want to reiterate real quick here, which is stereotypes exist for a reason. Generalizations exist for a reason. In life, it's all about speed. Humans are all about speed. A little trivia fact here people don't realize: the amount of time it takes for light to reach something being thrown at your face, to reach your eyes, go process through your brain, and to actually think about the process of catching it, you wouldn't catch it. The brain is too slow. That's why we have reflexes. That's why when somebody jerks their hand in your direction, you fling your hand up without even thinking about it. And that's why there's stereotypes. That's why there's generalizations. And it's important to observe them because they exist for a reason. But then...
the knee-jerk reaction.
But then, as time goes on and you have time to sit and think about it, treat people as individuals. Yes, we know what direction they should generally be going, but then, test it. Don't just always assume things with people unless you don't have time. When you have no time,
that's why I
make
don't
the
make
snap
assumptions.
judgment.
I stay at home.
If you got
I stay away from people.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something in general to tell the people. If you don't have time, make that snap judgment. There's nothing wrong with using a stereotype or a generalization if you don't have time. But if you've got time,
they exist for a reason.
If you have time to evaluate somebody over, say, minutes or hours, take the time to judge people as individuals. And that's just something I like to reiterate every once in a while.
But also, just don't always believe the first statistic you look at either. I mean, feminists say, for instance, there's feminists like to use that statistic: 1 in 4 women in college will be raped.
Oh, did you?
Do you realize how insanely asinine that statement is?
I made an entire video.
Do you realize how horrible? That is the biggest load of nonsense I have ever heard in my life. That is like, would you really send your daughter to a school where 1 in 4 girls are going to be sexually assaulted?
Oh, no,
would you really voluntarily do that?
That isn't it.
Right.
No.
But here's the thing. The way they got that statistic is they went around asking girls all sorts of other questions besides were you directly raped. Things like, has somebody wolf whistled at you? Has somebody stared at you in a way that made you feel uncomfortable?
A sexual assault. When is that sexual assault?
All right, well, hold on a second.
That's what you're talking about.
It's not.
But here's what I'm saying. That's how they get their statistics. So don't believe every statistic you hear, because statistics can be bullshit.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
I agree.
Did you want to say something? You were flickering. Did you want to say something?
That's epic. Huh?
I thought you were cut off.
Sorry, no. I don't understand I don't know. I don't understand that whole feminist thing with, like, have you ever been wolf whistled? Well, yeah, who hasn't? But I mean, girls do it too.
Well, I was going to say,
we do it too.
I haven't. I did a whole video about it, and it's pretty cool. Basically, if you go to the FBI site and you figure out how many times a woman is raped, how many of them are murdered, it's a rather sizable proportion. It's like 5%. So 1 out of 20 women who are raped are murdered. And I worked out the math and said, where are the piles of bodies? Because there would need to be millions of dead raped women all over the place for that statistic to be true.
They're being fed to pigs, don't you know?
Well, it's the only solution. Well, it's, 95 million Americans are out of work.
Except for the teeth.
Out of 300 million. So actually the unemployment rate's about 25%. So I guess they're all busy hiding the bodies.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean,
it can't possibly be that
new form of employment.
But and not only do you have to watch out for feminist statistics, but like even some of the like alt-right statistics that they come out with are just fucking bullshit too. I mean, you got to look at every statistic because so many of these statistics coming out are coming from biased groups.
See, the statistics that I just posted in that link, though, those are verifiable. That stuff can actually be verified and correlated against actual home setups.
Yeah, I'm not saying that statistic is wrong or anything. It's just that just that thing where you said that statistics don't lie. Line you said where
no, I didn't say statistics don't lie. I'm just saying the ones that I quoted have been backed up.
It's something I always like to repeat on the show too. By the way, is don't trust us. Don't trust any of us. Go out, verify it yourself.
Yep.
We are all fallible.
We are all fallible.
We all make
Go out
mistakes.
and trust it, verify it yourself, and in verifying it, you will convince yourself one way or the other. Take us with a grain of salt. Don't walk off, but do verify everything we talk about because I do it too with other places. I read stuff and I go, wow, that really supports what I believe. I better go double check it. And
except for me, believe everything I say because beavers don't lie.
Well, should we get on to some of the more funnier ones?
Florida Man!
This has been pretty heavy.
Florida Man!
Okay, well, before we get on to Florida Man, I want to get off briefly on to everybody's favorite Shia LaBeouf. It's pretty simple. He got arrested for public intoxication. The man has been falling on hard times. The man who ran the world's greatest Capture the Flag, where his flag was found in less than 32 hours by a bunch of autistic people with, by seeing, chemtrails in the sky and the stars and the angle of the sun and the croaking of frogs. They found the flag, and they did this twice. This guy is apparently really screwed up. Like, his life is just trashed. It's kind of sad, really.
Well, I think it all starts with with his parents. I mean, what kind of cruel parent gives their kid the name LaBeef? I mean,
no, I do blame his parents. I blame his parents entirely. He had obviously no restrictions, and he lives in an.
I should be named Knuckles LaBeef.
Knuckles LaBeef.
That'd be a cool name.
That's epic. That would be epic right there.
Well, LaBeouf. If you translate LaBeouf from French to English, it's the beef.
Yeah, it is.
Shia the Beef.
Shia the Beef. Yeah, this guy has no beef to him, though. He's beginning to look like the homeless bum he was when he was hanging out in front of He Will Not Divide Us. The guy just needs to... The guy, in my opinion, is seeking out a world that's fair.
Lost.
He wants to make the world fair. And the
He's
world's
lost.
not fair. And he can't find
No,
fairness.
it's not.
And because of this, because he can't just accept that a world that's not fair is actually better than a world that's fair... Because in a world that's fair, everything you ever did that was wrong, you deserved. You deserved every amount of punishment you got for every bad thing that ever happened to you. That's a fair world. In an unfair world, you didn't deserve it.
I don't think that's what's going on in his head. I think what's going on in his head is called cocaine.
No, he is entirely too inactive for it to be cocaine or any other stimulant.
He may be drugs of some sort, but I don't
He can sit in one spot for hours. That is not cocaine.
Okay, maybe it's not cocaine, but
yeah, that's depression.
But I think he's on something.
Oh, that may be
he
true.
He may very well be, and he may be running out of money, and now when he doesn't have the money, he's going down to simple drinking. But to be perfectly honest here, I think on some level that is his motivation. He wants to make the world fair, and he's trying to change everything. The only thing that explains this whole social justice craziness, and I think the big solution is for him to just, admit the truth that he's living a lie. Everything he believes.
You want to know what I see? When it comes to Shia LaBeouf, you know what I see? I see my father. Before my dad died, it was the exact same way. All he did was sit quietly and contemplate and drink and was always in pain and always hurting inside because of how twisted and destroyed everything that he thought was right as he was growing up was just torn to pieces in front of him all of his life. That's what I see when I look at Shia LaBeouf. I see it in his eyes, and it's the exact same thing I saw in my dad's eyes before he passed away.
That could be pretty accurate.
Sadness and sorrow and hollowness.
Unfortunately, the only one who can save him is him.
I still think it's something else. Because even before he got on the whole social justice train, he was also showing up at awards ceremonies with a paper bag over his face saying, "I am not famous anymore." And then he had that thing where he sat and watched himself in movies or something like that for 24 hours straight or something. And the guy's just fucking mental.
Yeah, he's
that's possible.
Apart, and I feel sad.
He's in pain.
I feel sad for him.
If I could sit down beside him, I'd give him a bottle of water and just sit there and say, "Hey, what's up, dude?"
I just see a typical child star when I look at him, just like every other child star that ends up in that kind of condition. You look at Lindsay Lohan, you look at Danny Bonaducci, and all these other fucking child stars.
Well, it's because most of them were molested.
Well.
Maybe Shia was too. I mean,
quite possibly.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't want to go over the rumors, but Hollywood seems like a creepy place.
Yeah.
At any rate,
I mean, he started really young with Even Stevens and shit. So who knows?
Yeah. Pizzagate.
Yeah, shall we?
I mean,
okay, go ahead.
You can't put that much pressure on a small, developing human and expect them not to get a little weird.
Expect them to grow up normal.
Yeah, they're not going to grow up normal. They're going to grow up to exactly what we see.
Look at the Olsen twins, for Pete's sake.
Oh yeah, that was.
Yeah.
That one poor twin. She married a freaking what is he? French nobility or something? It's like 40 years older than she is.
Yep.
And she was what, 17 when they got hooked up?
Yep. That's why I don't just think this is a social justice thing and wanting everything to be equal and whatnot. I just think Shia LaBeef is fucked in the head right from the get-go.
Even the mentally weak. They seek them out because they're easily controlled. So it's
exactly they are. They're the remote control.
Social justice, but social justice found his problems and amplified them. But,
yeah, they played a part in it.
Shall we move on to our?
To me,
Superman?
like this whole social justice thing. Like to me, this whole social justice thing just proves that whole race realism shit wrong.
Anyway, shall we move on to our favorite superhero?
They say that.
Who's the favorite superhero?
Our favorite superhero,
Florida Man.
Florida Man. Dun, dun. I gotta get a theme
Florida
for
Man.
Florida Man. We love Florida Man because Florida Man is everywhere. Florida Man now has caused chaos when he tried to open the exit door of a plane mid-flight. But a flight attendant hit him with a wine bottle as several passengers helped to restrain him.
I think we need to let Knuckles in on the Florida Man joke. The thing with Florida Man is if you just Google the word Florida Man, a whole bunch of news stories will pop up, and they all start with Florida Man does this, Florida Man does that. So it's different. It's different. Florida
Man. God, you're not even kidding. There's a subreddit about Florida Man.
Yeah, Florida Man. Yes, love Florida Man. Florida Man. Dun, dun, dun. Florida Man. He's everywhere.
He has on Yahoo. He has his own thing called Florida Man News.
Oh, yes.
Are you kidding?
Lovely
Florida Man is everywhere.
There's something wrong with Florida. I'm not sure if there's like you know an evil clown in
Florida Man recovering after alligator attack at golf course.
I remember that one.
Oh, yeah, but now we
Florida Man charged in stabbing during flight at Blueberry Farm. Florida Man said monkeys from Silver Spring State Park have invaded his property. Really? You weren't kidding.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Florida Man falls to death. Okay, we shouldn't have to worry about him no more. Florida Man falls to death.
Florida Man is immortal.
At Crater Lake.
Florida Man cannot die.
Oh, here you go. Florida Man, I know your name. The man, the myth, the legend. Florida Man. Jeez.
All right, so what's this Florida Man story about? This one that we're doing?
There's not much to it. The guy's name was Hudok. Joseph Hudok the Fourth.
Was his first name Fook?
No, it's Joseph Daniel Hudok the Fourth. 23-year-old man. He ordered a beer, went on the plane. Shortly after the plane took off, he went to the restroom, came back, asked the flight attendant a question. Not sure what the question was, but he asked a question. Went back to the restroom. A few minutes later, came back out, exited the restroom, and bolted for the emergency exit and tried to jump out the plane.
Wow.
That's amazing.
The flight attendants tried to stop him, but apparently that wasn't enough. It took a couple of passengers to hold him, but he still fought them off until finally a flight attendant grabbed a 1-liter bottle of wine and cracked him on the head. Whereupon he said, "Do you know who I am?" "Yes, we do, friend. You are Florida Man."
Florida Man. The man, the myth, the legend.
Florida Man. 20 years in prison, but don't worry, prison will not hold Florida Man. Florida Man will be free. No
Florida Man
hold him.
survived
Death cannot stop him.
Fight.
Florida Man's probably already free. There's probably a new Florida Man outing happening right now.
Dude,
do you know that Florida Man hid his wife's body in a freezer for 8 years? Thus, his family lost the condo?
That was after being bit on the tongue by a rattlesnake. It says right here, Florida Man was bitten in the tongue by a rattlesnake. It was even on CBS News.
Oh, yeah, Florida Man. She died of natural causes, apparently, but instead of reporting her death to the government, he stashed her body in the freezer and collected another $92,088 over the next 8 years until he fatally shot himself at the age of 86.
Wow.
Oh,
Josh. Wow.
Florida Man.
I love Florida Man.
Dude, Somebody has got to do a Florida Man meme. I want to see his costume.
That's what I'm going to create. I'm going to create a Florida Man cosplay.
Although
I know what my
partner, do people know about Florida Mom?
What?
Yes.
No.
Florida woman.
No,
Florida woman.
It's Florida Mom. Florida Mom arrested.
No,
Her
that's the
5-year-old son was found weighing 25 pounds.
Oh, good God.
She fed her baby so much food.
She must be the supervillain, Florida Mom.
Oh yeah, well yeah, Florida Mom is. There's Florida Woman, Florida Man, and Florida Mom, but Florida Mom's the supervillain.
Wow.
Florida Man's more of an enigmatic, anti-hero.
Anti-hero. Yep.
Yeah,
I was just going to say the exact same thing.
He's kind of like Deadpool.
Yep.
You never know which side he's on. Hiding a woman in a freezer for 9 years and then killing himself, or jumping out of a plane. Whatever, he does whatever he wants to because he's Florida Man.
I want to see a meme of Florida Man getting bit in the tongue by a rattlesnake. Because that's what the last news I read about Florida Man was. He just got bit in the tongue by a rattlesnake.
Florida woman is accused of stealing gangster's vintage pocket watch.
What?
And I've only got one more Florida Man though. One more Florida Man.
Okay, what is it?
Tries to hide in pool to avoid arrest. Man burglarized a home, took a dip in a pool to avoid being arrested, but needed to come up for air. Proved costly. Apparently, Florida Man still needs to breathe. So, that's not one of his superpowers.
So he's not unbreakable.
Yeah. So
he got arrested twice in one day?
Yeah, apparently so.
Well, we already know Florida Man can't be held behind bars. It just doesn't work.
He just disappears as soon as the handcuffs go on.
Yeah, they were using a canine unit to track him, who tracked him to the edge of the pool, and the dog was sitting there going, "Hey, where is he? You can't find him."
He has very small
hands.
hands.
Standing there, he eventually burst up and went, and that's when they got him.
I think I know what I'm doing my next show on.
Oh wait,
Florida Man.
Wait. There's one more. I gotta use this one because this one is priceless. Florida man with marijuana near groin blames underwear change. He changed his underwear, causing a marijuana mishap. It's kind of like a wardrobe malfunction. It involves your penis smoking pot, apparently.
Well, they do say it's got a brain of its own.
He didn't know. I love this. He stated that he didn't know the cannabis was on him because he had recently changed his underpants. He's like, "Oh, I didn't know there were 20 grams of marijuana in that pair of underwear. I just pulled it on." Holy crap. Wow.
Yeah, my next episode of memes just in Florida Man edition.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, you have to write an intro script, and I will do my best radio announcer voice and do the opening for you.
Oh yeah,
I'll give you the voiceover.
Guys.
Yes.
Sure, I could do that.
Hold on, Buttercup.
Yeah, you write
Florida
script,
woman.
I'll do the voiceover.
You guys, Florida woman uses knife with knuckle grips.
Oh no!
Traffic dispute.
Oh my God.
No! Wow!
Wow.
Is that where the fingerprints came
knuckle
from?
grip.
I was wondering where those fingerprints.
That is some hardcore shit.
Apparently, she also attacked an ex with knives pulled from bra.
Dude, you guys realize we have the production team for the new Florida Man cartoon series sitting right here, right?
If I knew how to animate, I would so be on that.
Florida Man is the best at what he does, and what he does best is boost sales. Florida Man coming to the next episode near you.
Oh man, I
You
love
just sound
Florida Man.
dehydrated, Bob.
Yeah.
It needs to be like a Tick intro. The Tick.
Yeah.
I was just introduced to Florida Man last week, and I'm just blown away by how awesome Florida Man is.
Unfortunately, the other big one we like to do is Venezuela, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of news out of Venezuela this week. So everything's
sad.
I just assume that things are getting so bad that even news isn't getting out.
Did you see the story I posted?
I got a bad memory. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
You been hit in the head a lot too?
It's
I got
about
into a coma.
I fell off an aircraft carrier and I've been fighting for most of my life.
Okay, this story is actually about somebody I know. Somebody I went to school and graduated with.
Okay.
It's just above the "it's a boy" thing.
Yeah.
Oh God, no, not her. Yeah. I don't even know how to react to that anymore. That picture messed me up.
In British Columbia,
you got to show him the picture, dude. So he has an idea of what you're talking about.
Oh, the story's in there, so he can check it out.
It's bad.
But in British Columbia, Canada, where I live,
Me too. Please kill us.
There is a new parent. It's not a mother. It's not a father. It's just a new parent. And not only is it a new parent, but it is a parent of a child who has no sex. Not gender identity. No, it's ID, its birth certificate, literally says sex. You for unknown or undetermined.
So it's not even a hermaphrodite.
It's just
you.
It's an it.
What is his sex? You.
This poor child is going to grow
He's a
up
mirror.
with no
He is whatever
self-identity.
sex you are. He's you. Oh my god.
This poor child is going to grow up.
Yeah.
You gotta post a link for that picture though, so he can see what you're talking about.
Actually, like, doesn't have a gender, or just like
gender. Legally does not have a gender.
Legally he doesn't, but biologically he's male.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if the baby's a boy or a girl.
No, he's got I've seen this story elsewhere a couple of times.
Okay.
He is a boy, but according to Canada, he is you, or not applicable.
And according to the mom's already dressing it in female and male clothing, so
this kid's going to be...
It's everything.
Yeah.
And nothing.
And that's one mom that's going to ruin this kid's life. Sorry.
Don't call it a mom until you see the picture.
Seriously,
what is the picture?
This is the kind of thing that pisses me off. This right here, the fact that I have to have a license to pilot a vehicle. Meanwhile, if I wanted to have sex, get pregnant, pop out a kid, and I can do something stupid like this
Tell us how you really feel.
And potentially just destroy another human being's life. And it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop at just one human being, because if that person decides to reproduce, then they fuck up their offspring too, and then it's just this chain of
perpetual bullshit.
Yeah.
Yes. And but
sister, I feel where you're coming from. There's just no freaking words.
Meanwhile, if I get in a car and I hit another guy head on, and I ruin his life, and it's only his life, and I go to jail for 1,000,000 years, but I can have a kid and I can fucking destroy their life, and that's perfectly okay, and that's just called parenting.
Yeah.
No. We need licenses for breeding, because this is why. This is fucking why. And this
that is not a woman.
No, I'm
why do you think
interference? But yeah, you make a really good point. Yeah.
And this is why I'm a MGTOW. No. This is why I want to do it.
And I'm so libertarian in all of my beliefs, but it's just we have 7.5 billion people on the face of this earth. We use 1.5 our Earth's resources every single year, and it's only going to get worse. But people like this are allowed to breed unchecked.
Yep. I actually
ideologies to stop these things from breeding.
I actually covered this story in my newest video, and I had to go to character when I talked about it. I got pissed off while I was just trying to cover the story. And
holy fuck! I just saw the picture.
Not a woman.
Holy fuck!
No, it's a woman.
No,
it's a woman.
That is not a woman. Women don't have beards.
What the fuck?
It has a vagina and it has tits.
No, that's wrong. That's wrong and gross, and somebody had sex with that.
Oh. No, you're making an assumption there. You know, could have been a turkey baster, we can hope. I'm telling myself.
That poor fucking turkey baster.
Oh god.
Maybe she just goes around to like the trash cans and garbage dumpsters looking for used condoms.
I was gonna say
that poor used condom, okay? No, nothing belongs in that. And that baby, that poor fucking baby who was squeezed out of I don't even know what orifice.
Cancer. No, okay.
I'm mad, but I'm laughing.
Hold on 1 second. I gotta go spit my brain out of my head.
Yeah.
Same.
Oh my god.
I
didn't see that picture before. That is terrible. Oh my god, that poor kid's gonna have to.
You know what? This is one of the few times I'm glad that I don't post. I can change the picture on the stream very easily because nobody needs to see that. Nobody.
If that,
what's going on in the
You missed
background?
me.
It's like a turntable and some sort of like welding device and is that a giant
mixing
bullet
table.
and a purple hat
You know,
and a
I can only
soundboard?
assume what's happening in the background of this picture
It's so disturbing.
is
happy.
that they're in its doomsday lair.
Yes,
And it's broadcasting from fucking 6 feet underground with its tiny unisex child that it will harvest for its organs later.
oh
It
god.
has its own website too.
Is that a,
You know what? All I can say.
is that a no spill mug?
You know what I can say?
And a pencil.
I got a horrible joke that I'm about to tell. I have a horrible joke that I'm about to
There's
tell.
nothing
That
worse. There's
originated in a
nothing
different
worse.
way.
Go ahead. There's nothing
What is that baby? What is the sound that baby's gonna make after it removes its face from that person's breast?
I don't know.
From the sound of spitting out the chest hair.
Like that Family Guy episode?
I got you read you a description of her about page on her website. She has her own website.
Go ahead.
Don't call
That's
it
not a she.
Cry havoc and
Okay, it's
cringe.
website.
That isn't it.
Are you looking
That is
for
not a her.
Are you looking for a supportive learning experience that will help you navigate big transitions while growing into the person you want to be? Do you strive to help create workplaces, families, and communities where a diversity of genders, experiences, and perspectives are valued and supported? Do you crave opportunities for open conversations, challenging stigma on the quest of knowledge? Are you looking to expand perspectives, dismantle toxic mythologies, and stock resiliency toolboxes for yourself and your communities? Dive in and let me help you find your way.
To what?
You lost all
Confusion?
hope and all belief that there is a God? Have you decided that, maybe you're not quite ready to die yet, but you're looking for somebody in a relationship that will push you over the edge and collect your life insurance policy?
You found the right place.
Okay, right now,
Can
I
we-
gotta say, my only hope for the human race is North Korea.
Can we just
Let's all move to North Korea.
Hold
Can we
on.
talk for 2 seconds about the look on this thing's face as she breastfeeds this baby?
Is that
That
just
is
a
the
normal skin color, or is it blush? Is that makeup or
That is the look.
I'm pretty sure that's its normal color.
That's Glee. That is the look of Glee.
There's these.
That is the look of Glee.
I had a book once. I had a book that had.
I just want to know why it's gripping that soundboard so tightly.
Oh God! You just noticed.
Oh god.
It's just the babies.
The knuckles.
Hey, no, don't say knuckles, please. I don't want to be associated with this.
It is gripping really hard. But the grin and
I really don't like this. I really don't like this
It's like
thing.
a velociraptor.
it's got those. It looks, remember the original? What was it? Star Wars with Leia with the big cinnamon buns on her head.
The side buns. The side buns.
Yes.
Is those side buns? No, wait, that's an earphone. That's
No.
an earphone. Okay.
Those are earphones.
Ear.
But the look on this thing's face is like, I just succeeded in stealing this baby and now I'm
Right.
breastfeeding it.
I know.
And the baby doesn't like it, which means I have to hold on really tightly to this
And
thing.
I'm pretty
it's
sure that's
all
just
red,
chest
like
hair.
it's suffocating. Like he's holding it on too tight. And it's
It
slowly.
probably
It
is.
is.
It's like, drink my milk. Drink it all.
Oh,
Become one of us.
It tastes like feminism.
Everybody together.
My
One
pizza's
of
starting
us.
to come back
One
up.
of us. One of us.
One of us.
One of
One of
us.
us.
One of
One
us. One of us.
Oh my
One of
God.
us.
Seriously.
Mom, I'm scared. I'm scared, Mom.
It's like Naked Ape. Oh, if Naked Ape had been shaved, yeah. Oh my God.
Oh man.
Oh, shaved naked ape.
That's just terrible.
I said a long time ago that the only thing that looks scarier when you shave it is a bear. It's just a hideous creature when you shave its face, but this is pretty freaking close. Oh my God.
My God.
I'm pretty sure we're actually looking at a shaved bear.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is the face of a shaved bear. He has Princess Leia's head.
Actually worse.
That is a really, really overly pleased shaved bear.
And he is
That's what it is.
suffocating a baby against his nipple.
Now, when I went to school, she was weird, but it wasn't this weird.
You knew this person?
You know this thing?
You went to high school with this.
Oh my God, I feel so bad for
I'm
you.
so sorry.
My condolences.
Wow.
Think you could have married
Can you
her.
confirm?
You could have met her at prom.
Is that an actual
Fallen in
human?
love.
This is an actual
And then your
person.
wife
That could have been your
grown a
child.
beard and
Can you get them on here?
spawned a child.
Can you get them on here? I have so many
I'll be honest,
questions.
though, I would interview her, but I don't think they would go on the show. I would interview it, but I don't think that you could stand being on the show.
I have so many questions.
So fragile. Like,
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, something tells me that the walls are always just right on the edge of crumbling with this individual.
I would have her on the
feel
show
like
in a
that's some
heartbeat,
other life
but-
form wearing a human suit.
Her beard's almost as long as mine.
Is that another?
Randy,
is that
that
an
is a beautiful
alien life form
observation.
wearing a human suit?
He's-
Please tell me that's an alien life form wearing a human
All the
suit.
gear
That's
in
an
the
insult to
background is for
aliens.
recording. It's for recording sound. So right now he's recording the sound of a gagging baby, and he's going to use
Gagging baby.
time recording the child crying.
I wonder if they have a YouTube channel.
Oh God.
God.
Oh, I hope so. I need to go subscribe.
Yeah, it's called Feminist Frequency.
Ooh. It's more like the YouTube channel. Oh God.
Oh,
YouTube.com.
Wow. That is pure cringe.
YouTube.
And to our listeners who are not seeing this,
I
you don't
got-
need to. You don't. There's. I say this very rarely.
I'm about
but you
to
don't wanna
save
know.
it.
You don't want to see it.
I'm going to save the picture. So if anyone wants to see it, just hit me up on Twitter.
Yeah,
Oh.
but you don't need.
Make
to
sure
see
you send it. Make sure you
There
send it
will be
privately.
no
You don't
joy
want
in
to
your
dox
life
anybody.
if you see this picture. It will bring you no happiness. Yes, you may be curious.
Well, when
bad.
I Google her name, lots of stuff is coming up, but nothing that looks like it's directly her channel. Just
Well, you
other
know what?
people talking
I
about.
can tell you one thing: it's not coming up when I look at her picture.
Interruption. Nothing is coming up. My
God.
bagel.
Oh my God.
Your bio.
Ah.
Well, on that
That's
note,
one subject that will never come up in regard to.
well, we've been on for over an hour and a half, so we always go over.
We should end this now. This is wrong and
This is probably
sick.
a good place to
And
wrap up.
this
Is there
is-
anything
this
anybody
is
wants to bring
not-
up? Any last minute comments or topics or whatnot to bring up? I don't want to just cut everybody off. If there's anything you want to talk about, let's bring it up now.
Well,
Normally,
I don't
Odysseus' naked face haunts my nightmares at night, but I think we have a new contender.
Yeah, that is nightmare fuel. That is nightmare fuel.
that's
Yes.
the face of modern feminism right there. That is the
Yeah.
face of modern feminism.
I'm
Well, I
going
want to say
to.
thank you for having me, you guys, for real.
Randy, you are priceless.
And
Oh,
hopefully I'll be able to come.
Randy, I will reiterate what
Fine.
Randy's saying. There's a news story in the local news about a new form of sexual assault called ghosting, where men come in women without warning. So he made a meme. And I've got to reproduce this picture. This one, he's got one of those goldfish that have the really puffed out cheeks, and it says, "That look she gets when you come without warning." It's just amazing. Truly. If you guys don't know about Randy Raccoon, go find Randy Raccoon. He has got a great channel.
I'll have to look him up.
Yeah, he is definitely at the time.
I'm Better Than Yous said something hilarious. If I identify as 14,600,000 square miles of salt water, can I be transatlantic?
Oh my God, that's good. That's good.
All right, I'm gonna post my YouTube link in the chat so anybody can check me out.
I don't think you can post links.
Yeah, we can't post links
if you're
unless
modded, you guys
mod.
Eldritch decides to make us all mods.
Yeah, if he mods us, you can post links.
Post something and then I'll make you an internet.
Skadoosh!
Skeet, skeet.
Skeet!
Man.
All right, I got Canada, and I'm Better Than You is. Oh, I love you, man. You haven't been around a while. Where you been? I haven't seen you in a bit. You got to get on the stream sometime. We got to figure out how to get you to use Discord. This guy's amazing. He is funny as hell, by the way.
Edit and try again. Why is it? Why is it telling me to try again? Is it because my name is in it?
Delete it and try doing it again. I made you a moderator, and it says if I do it again, it'll remove you. So,
well, you should just have to refresh the page. It takes a second for the settings to actually verify before it lets you become an actual mod. I've moderated on a few different live streams before. You should have seen it during the Trump election.
Oh God! That. By the way, I still remember that night. I had to work an overnight, and so I got to watch it live. And to see the tears of the Democrats was just priceless. And she did not.
Nah, it won't let me post it for some reason.
Well, try refreshing.
Well, Buttercup got mod. Buttercup's got mod.
Yeah, Buttercup's not mod.
Tiny URL.
I did.
Yeah, it says your mod. It's got the little wrench by her name.
Ah, there it goes.
Yeah, there you are. Try posting something. Canada, try posting something. Let's see if you got the wrench.
Okay, just a second here. Heyo. Yeah, I got the wrench, but it won't let me post my my tiny URL thing.
Are you including the? Then I don't know why. Try posting it in the live stream topic.
It might be.
Nope, I don't have it either. Not letting me post anything.
Okay,
you don't have to mod.
I got that worked.
You don't have to mod me if you don't want.
I don't care. If you're regular on the stream, I trust you.
Okay, I posted it in the whatchamacallit, the chat live stream topics.
Oh. Wouldn't let me either. Hold on one sec.
Crazy. You're the main moderator for the whole channel. It should let you post a link.
Oh, yeah.
I guess I can just post the long form version. I mean...
Yeah, I just posted the link to my last live stream of me playing freaking DayZ standalone.
Okay, let me try doing it this way. Okay, that works, but it won't let me do it the easy way.
Weird. It wouldn't let me do it either. I don't... Maybe it doesn't like
What are you trying
URL.
to do?
You know,
Maybe.
I noticed that YouTube...
Well, I mean, I was able to put that tiny URL link.
Weird.
No, Canadian, post it, not in... He's not talking about in Discord. He's talking about in YouTube.
Yeah, on the YouTube live chat. YouTube's messed with some stuff, so... Anyway,
yeah,
anybody
if you
want
look
to
at
post
the
anything else on the line? Because everything that goes on the live chat gets recorded in the video, so people can see it in the corner there. Anybody else want to say anything else or put any links or anything before we wrap things up?
I just wanted to say thank you guys for having me,
and
man.
I love everybody who came by to stop, and as always, excuse me a second there, this is basically for practice and for content creators. If you're not a content creator and you never plan on creating anything or not even interested in it, please don't subscribe. I know that sounds weird, but don't. I'm trying to keep the channel size down because if I get too big, I'm going to draw attention that will make it harder for me to do what I do. If you are a content creator, interested in being a content creator, you just want to help out a content creator, then subscribe, because that way I can keep track of people, and that helps me out. So that's the basic deal here. If you're interested in practicing live streaming so you can get some experience under your belt, because trust me, if you're going to have it sound natural, you've got to do it over and over and over. So it's been real and it's been fun, but I'm not sure if it's been real fun. I'm Unfoff Neverborn, the abyss that slumbers, and you have been listening to Eldritch Rants.